Ever heard of the comedian who died of thirst? He couldn't find a punchline. Welcome one and all to the tale of our thirst-stricken comedian. Our jokester, parched as a desert, is on a desperate mission to find his punchline, a clever play on words for a drink, if you will. Now imagine a comedian, searching high and low for his punchline, his thirst intensifying with each passing second. He tries to crack a joke here, a jest there, but all they do is tumble out of his mouth, dry as a bone. His humor, once sparkling and effervescent, now falls flat as a pancake, much like his attempts at hydration. This poor comedian's plight shows us the importance of hydration in a lighthearted, humorous manner. After all, what's a comedian without his punchline or a human without their water? So remember folks, a dehydrated comedian is no laughing matter. Ever been so thirsty you start seeing things? Welcome to the desert, folks. Picture this, a man, let's call him Thirsty Ted, lost in a desert. The heat is unbearable, the sun is relentless, and thirst is his only companion. His lips are chapped, his throat is parched, and he's having a hard time telling if his tongue is still there or if it's just a figment of his tortured imagination. Suddenly, a glimmer catches his eye. It's a frosty can of soda, bubbles fizzing over the rim, condensation trickling down the sides. He reaches out, his fingers closing around thin air. Poof! The soda vanishes, leaving Thirsty Ted even thirstier. Then, out of nowhere, a pint of beer appears. The golden liquid swirls, a frothy head crowning the top. Thirsty Ted lunges for it, but alas, it's another cruel mirage. Next, a steaming cup of coffee floats by. The rich aroma of roasted beans fills the air. Ted aggressively reaches out, but as with the soda and beer, the coffee disappears into thin air. Finally, a giant water bottle materializes before him. It's filled to the brim with crystal clear water, droplets sliding down its sides. Thirsty Ted, with a glimmer of hope in his eyes, reaches out for the water bottle. But just like the others, it disappears into the hot desert air. His hand closes on nothing but sand and disappointment. You can almost hear the universe chuckling. If only he'd stayed hydrated, he wouldn't be in this mess. A harsh truth indeed. It seems our friend Thirsty Ted is learning a hard lesson about the importance of hydration. So, let's take a moment to remember Thirsty Ted the next time we feel too lazy to reach for that water bottle, because you know what they say, a hydrated man is a mirage-free man. Remember folks, staying hydrated keeps the mirages at bay. Ever tried to sell water to a fish? Meet our next character, the world's worst water vendor. In the heart of the city park, our protagonist sets up his stall, ready to quench the thirst of the masses. Yet this vendor's got a problem. He's the thirstiest of them all. Armed with an arsenal of water bottles, you'd think he's got hydration covered. Ah, but the irony. As the sun blazes overhead, our vendor finds himself unable to resist the allure of his own merchandise. One by one, he downs the bottles, his thirst seemingly unquenchable. The park-goers watch in disbelief, their hopes of hydration evaporating as quickly as the water disappears down our vendor's gullet. Finally, the last water droplet falls. The vendor, now fully hydrated, looks around at his empty stall and the parched faces of potential customers. A moment of realization hits him. He's drunk his own profits dry. Remember folks, you can't sell water if you drink all the stock yourself. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the punchline. Our weary comedian, parched and dry, stumbles across the answer to his comedic drought. Lo and behold, it's not a witty one-liner or a slapstick prop, but a simple water bottle. With a flourish, he unscrews the cap and takes a long, satisfying gulp. It's as if you can see the life flowing back into him. His eyes light up, his posture straightens, and a smile spreads across his face. Suddenly, he's back. Armed with renewed vigor, he steps back onto the stage. His voice, once hoarse and raspy, is now as smooth as silk. The crowd leans forward, hanging onto his every word. And then, the punchline hits. Why did the comedian bring a water bottle to his show? He pauses dramatically. Because he wanted to make sure his jokes didn't fall flat. The room erupts in laughter. And that, folks, is why they say hydration is the key to a good